Moving along here, let's take a look at a couple of the resources available in reference sources. These are also in that big long list of databases, but it's a little bit easier to get to them here. So if we click on reference sources, a couple I'd like to look at are Credo Reference and then CQ Researcher and Issues and Controversies. Credo is a really good source for getting background information. It covers a lot of different reference books like encyclopedias, almanacs, dictionaries, and it lets you search them all at once. So let's stay with the topic of medical marijuana here. If we type in here, it shows you results, and in this case it shows you how many words it is. So this is from Culture Wars in America, an Encyclopedia of Issues. So this is a couple pages worth of information. Here's one that's maybe 4 or 5 pages, gives you a little bit more in-depth information. And another thing that's really neat about Credo is the mind map search. You can see where it's drawn a little concept map over on the side here, and it has the term we typed in and then related terms here. So if you're looking for a topic and you're just not finding stuff, try typing it into the mind map search here and see what it comes up with. Sometimes I think medical cannabis was another term that popped up. So if you click on one of these terms on the outside here, it will redraw the map and give you some other alternatives here. And these are terms like medical cannabis here you could take back to another database like that nursing and allied health one we just looked at, and plug in those terms there and see what you get. So it's kind of a good brainstorming tool. Okay, going back into reference sources. The CQ Researcher and Issues and Controversies are very similar. They take current events type things that are in the news and give you research reports about them, usually about 10-12 pages worth of information, and they usually include a lot of statistics and infographics and things like that. So if we browse topics here, I'll just go into arts, culture, and sports and pick one. So, for example, diversity in Hollywood. Talking about how different groups, population groups, are represented in the movies we watch and so forth. So it kind of has an overview of the topic, and here's some of the charts and graphs. Some visual aids you might use if you're doing, like if you take a speech class and you have to do a persuasive speech, you can use these in a PowerPoint to provide some visual interest and information that way. So if you would print this out, it'd probably be something like 10 to 15 pages long. And then at the end, they tend to have sources cited that you can find other articles about the topic for. So here's some other things you can look up. So that's a really good source to try. And the other one, Issues and Controversies, is very similar. It just has a different range of issues, and it'll take a different approach to it. So either or both of these would be good to use for, I think, a lot of topics that you're going to be using for this class. Okay, to wrap up here, I just wanted to show you a couple other things. I mentioned in one of the earlier videos the subject and course research guides. If you click on this button, I've actually created a guide for this class under Course Guide. It would be listed under EN 140 Spring 2020. And here's where this is the spot where you originally found these videos that I sent the link to your professor. And then there's information here about background information. There's that CQ Researcher that we looked at, and so forth. And you can do a quick search of Credo right there. Some tools for finding books, articles, and so forth there. So that's available. And then I also wanted to reiterate under the Ask Us section, there's a chat reference that's available. If you have a quick question, there'll be a real live person on the end almost 24/7 that can answer your questions. Or if you need to dig in a little bit more, you can make an appointment for a video conference, and these are available at these times here. You can choose a person you'd like to work with. Like if you'd like to make an appointment with me, you can see the times that I have available, or if it doesn't matter to you, that opens up some of the times that are available for that. And then last thing I wanted to mention is just kind of for fun, if we go back into articles and databases, if like the rest of us, everybody's stuck at home and getting bored, we have databases by type. And then under video streaming, we have various video sources. There's Films on Demand and Canopy have a lot of academic-oriented videos, and there's a lot of great documentaries and some classic films here, but there's also feature films for education, which is theatrical release films, and there's some fairly recent ones and classics. There's about 700 movies here, but these are available. It's sort of a Netflix type environment. So we watched a great movie in here last week called Isle of Dogs. The whole family enjoyed that, so I just wanted to point that out. And otherwise, that wraps up our video instruction session. If you have any questions, you can email me. My contact information is on the research guide that I showed, or it's ksewer@cmo.edu. You can go to the chat reference or schedule a video conference. Take care, and thanks for sharing this time with me, and have a great day.